Welcome back to Fast Market on the TD Ameritrade Network. I'm Tom White, joined by my co-host Kevin Hinks. But let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment, and that's going to be Landon Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Thanks, Tom. Good to be here.
All right. So Chewy, pet ownership ramped up during the pandemic, and Chewy shares did too. It's pulled back pretty significantly, but it's rallied over 70% from 52-week lows that we saw in May. Are we seeing maybe a reversal in some of their metrics, or what are you seeing out of the consumer where, they're willing to spend more on their pets, it seems like, even in this high inflationary environment?
Yeah, I tell you what, we talked about this I think it was last week. Pets and kids are where people are going to cut. That's where they're going to cut last, right? Everything else comes before pets and kids. And for some people, a pet is a kid. So this is a beloved part of the family, and you're not going to cut down the cost. That's going to be the last thing to go during tough times, which I think a lot of people are going through right now with inflation and everything. So Chewy's in a good position. Obviously, they were in the right place, right time with the pandemic. Stores were closed, but they shipped pet food to you. And as you said, everyone's buying pets during the pandemic. Interestingly enough, we're actually seeing new pet ownership is up year over year, about 15%. So it's continuing to climb. And that could account for why ordering pet supplies online is pacing at about plus 24% this summer over previous summer. So all the trends are sort of moving in the right direction for Chewy. And when you compare them to some of their competition, like PetMed Express, for example, ticker Pets, they're dominating. I mean, they are just completely dominating. They are seeing a growth in purchase intent, where PETS is seeing a decline in purchase intent. They're two far ends of the spectrum here. Also, Chewy completely dominating on happiness. They have some of the happiest customers at 84%. They do so many nice little things. I mean, they will send handwritten cards to their customers. And they check up on pets. I mean, they really make you feel like they're invested in your pet's life. And so I've actually have secondhand experience. One of our employees, Emily, she always talks about how Chewy sends her letters and they're so kind, and she absolutely loves them. I'm very aware of this, and I'm not surprised to see that the data is coming in this high. 84% is very, very high. So they've got purchase intent dominating on happiness. They've got some trends behind them. And as you said, their stock's down from all-time highs. It's up lately, but down from all-time highs. So I think that even though they're not making money just yet, they've got enough cash reserves to find their way through, getting to that profitable point. And once they get there, I think it's going to be just a continued growth for this company. So the way that they get you is that, they get you to buy pet food or pet supplies, and then they get you on what they call auto ship, which is where you're buying it every week or 2 weeks, whatever you're set up for, and you're getting charged regularly. Those auto ship mentions are up 42% year over year. So you could see the huge spike from COVID, but it kind of reverted back to the mean. But now it's starting to grow again. And I think what's happening is as they acquire new customers, they're stacking that revenue on top of itself, that recurring revenue, which every company dreams for. That's the ultimate goal, is recurring revenue. So the more customers they get, the more they're stacking up that recurring revenue. And I think this is just the beginning for this company. I'm very bullish long-term on Chewy. And even going into this report, I'm bullish. Our score on this company is plus 57 on our earnings score. So we're definitely, leaning pretty heavy on the bullish side. And at $37, I really like it here.
Percentage of U.S. households owning a pet, Landon, just hit an all-time high of 70%. That's the data that they're giving out, and that is insane when you think about how many pets that means in the U.S. Now, Chewy is a company that they've got 3,000 brands. They've got 100,000 different products. They have no brick and mortar, so the margins are higher. Everything in terms of this company is good, Landon, yet the stock has sold off. Is the reason that it sold off, did this stock, a good company, just get caught up in they don't make money yet, so we're going to sell that sector of the market that's not profitable, growth, right? When that got sold off, this went with it. Now, it's recovered nicely here, but it's also just sold off into the last few weeks. So your pretty strong positive look here. Is that why this stock has come down? It seems like they're doing everything right. It's just a matter of time till they become profitable. Landon, what are you seeing in terms of that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a matter of time before they become profitable. I think based on how much cash they have plenty of runway and they're going to get there. And then again, it's just stacking customers on top of themselves. They show that they're able to retain customers, 84%, again, extremely high numbers for consumer happiness. That equates to retention. So they're building up this auto ship. And yes, the stock has sold off from the recent highs were about 52 or so down to 37. The lows were 22. So it's kind of in the middle of that. But recently it's pulled back. And if I'm bullish on an earnings call, I love a pullback going into earnings. So I think that you're getting it at a discounted rate. You can, obviously buying shares, but then there's all kinds of ways. You guys, I'm sure, are going to go over all the risk-defined ways to use options to your benefit. But yeah, I think that this company is definitely going to get to where they're profitable. They have the runway, and then it's just they're going to continue to ramp up. So yes, this is a growth company, and maybe they got thrown out, maybe with the bathwater kind of situation with all the other growth companies that weren't yet profitable. But I think this one should have had a little asterisk next to it on all the funds lists of companies, because it's different. It is going to be, in my opinion, profitable. They've got the runway, and they're just continuing to add up all those auto ship customers.
Yeah, and I think some of the headwinds post-pandemic, the competition potentially from, Petco, Amazon was getting big into the pet delivery business, but auto ship, just full disclosure, amazing, where you don't have to worry about it, just ships to your house. But Landon, any parts of this company, they're getting into pet insurance, which, by the way, is amazing. Also, everybody should have pet insurance, because when you get vet bills, they're just like doctor bills. They're expensive. Are you seeing any data from Chewy that's taking hold and another pipeline? Because expanding their footprint as far as offerings would probably benefit, a sooner path to profitability.
Sure, and if you think about it, by the way, Tom, I just spent $2,000 on my dog's vet bill, so I'm very aware of that. I'm going to start looking into insurance as well. It hits. But I will tell you, if you've got customer base that's got an 84% happiness rate, you can introduce those higher margin options and getting into things that are, introducing new products to the customer, and they're going to be far more likely to buy them from you as the introducer of that product than to just type in pet insurance online, because many people don't know about the benefits of something like that. And when the message comes from a company you've been dealing with for 6 months, 12 months, et cetera, and they deliver every time, you're very happy with them, you're far more likely to think about buying. So that gives them a competitive advantage over other companies that offer similar benefits. Just because they've got that super, super happy customer, the loyal customer. They're building a bit of an ecosystem. So for them to be expanding into other things just shows me that management knows what they're doing, and they're going to increase the dollars per customer that they're getting while they're adding customers.
Yeah, and you guys, your data showed, you said you're pretty positive going into earnings in here. What was the score again?
Plus 57.
Plus 57, like it long term. All right, great stuff as always, Landon. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Kevin.
All right.